What's going on, Agent Nation? It's Frank Bernardo with another edition of the Real Estate Coaching Club podcast. I'm super excited. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time we do something. Like, follow, comment on the post. All of this stuff helps us bring you better and more content. The one thing I want to do is I want to keep improving the quality, keep improving the content. And the only way I know how good I'm doing is if you tell me. So if you think I'm doing trashy, you think it's terrible, then just tell me. Do not put negative things in the comments. I'm just saying. So today is a really important video that I want to make because I think this is 3 things that every business should be using. And I see a lot of businesses in general go out of business. And I think if they employed these 3 things, that most businesses would have a fighting chance. But for real estate, I think it's super valuable. So super valuable. So as you know, my number one thing when it comes to lead generation for real estate is your sphere of influence. And if you don't believe that, I will fight you in the comments. I will not fight you in the comments. I'm just saying, sphere of influence with any mega agent that's out there that has had a massively successful business, it's their sphere of influence. But this is directly tied. These 3 things are directly tied to your sphere of influence. So let's get right into it. Number 1, the number 1 thing that your business needs to flourish are positive reviews. Positive reviews are so important and so vital to a business. People want to see that you've done well by others. I mean, if you just go look at Yelp restaurant reviews. And there is actually a statistic that tells you that 35% of all Yelp reviews are fake. But guess what? Most people don't care. Because when something is really bad, it will show up in the reviews. And I have gone to reviews to kind of see what people like, what people don't like. With restaurants, I go to reviews to see what the most popular dish is, because sometimes it's not always what you think it is. And you can sometimes find hidden gems in there. But back to real estate. Reviews are super important. And a lot of real estate agents don't do this. A lot of real estate agents don't take the time out to go ask their people to give them a review. Do not give them a review. Do not ask them to review you on Zillow. Don't. Stop using Zillow. Zillow is trash. Zillow is another real estate company that's using your data and using your information to make money. They're using you. You can literally do the same thing Zillow does. So stop sending people to Zillow to review you. If you're going to send them anywhere, start with Google. Google reviews. Everybody is on Google. Everybody sees Google. Google your area real estate agent and then scroll to the top. And you will see what a lot of real estate agents are doing. It is just huge for the search algorithm. You should have a Google business page. That's a whole different podcast, but you should have a Google business page with the most accurate information with your website. All that stuff dialed in. That's part of step 1 of our program, that if you want a successful online real estate program, you can go to realestatecoachingclub.com and you will see what we have for you. But step 1 of our program is create the foundation, and the foundation is an online. One of the pieces is an online presence. And getting reviews for your business is so important. I cannot tell you how important. But the Google review is super valuable. So you should do that. And what I would tell you to do is go back to the first person you've ever done a deal with and start asking them for reviews. Send them there's a Google link on your Google review page. So you create a Google page and you get the link and you send it to them and you have people do it. Help them, coach them through it, talk to them about it. Ask them for a 5-star review. So the way you ask the question is, I would love it if you could give me a 5-star review. Ask for the 5-star review. This is why. I had somebody give me a 4-star review. And I called them and I'm like, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Like, you gave me 4 stars, but the review sounded amazing. He said, I didn't want people to think it was fake. And it was just a fake 5-star review. So I gave 4 stars. I said, I appreciate that, but it's not the way it works. It actually brings down like the stars. So ask for the 5-star review. Say, Did I do a good enough job to get a 5-star review? However you want. Talk to your people the way you know you should be able to talk to your people, but you ask for the 5-star review. So reviews is number one. Number two is the one thing that I don't think any real estate agents do. And I don't think a lot of businesses do it in general. And that is feedback. You need feedback. So whatever you do in life or in the world, when you put that out, what you get back, that's feedback. Whether it's negative, whether it's positive. You want feedback so you know what you did right, what you did wrong, how you can improve. That is really the only way you can improve, because a lot of times something happens in the transaction, people don't say anything, there's no conversation, you close the deal and you move on, and you expect business back from that person, and then you never get it and you don't know why. So it's a really easy process. You create a SurveyMonkey form. There's a bunch of survey forms. You can do SurveyMonkey. You can do a Google Sheet. It's a Google form, actually. You can do that, and you can send them. Ask them questions. Did I communicate enough? Did I answer all your questions? Like, what could I have done better in this transaction to make you happier than you already are? Or something like that. Like, create a form that gives you honest feedback so you know where your weaknesses are. Because the one thing I found doing this for over 20 years in real estate is that so many things can go wrong, and so many people can get blamed when it's not their fault. Escrow, if you're in a part of the country that does escrow gets blamed for a lot of things that's not their fault. It's a really hard job. I wouldn't want to do it. The real estate agent gets blamed for a whole bunch of things that are not their fault. And so you want to make sure that you're communicating correctly enough and that you are getting the feedback you deserve. And the way you do that is you have to over-communicate with your people. You have to over-communicate, and at the end, you create a feedback form and you send it to them. And then you can also, here's a ninja trick. Also, at the end, if you know you're going to get good feedback, you can put the link in there for your Google review. And let's address something back about the Google review. Let's say you get a negative review. So in Google and in Yelp, there's a way for the business owner to respond to a negative review. If you are getting a lot of negative reviews, that's a different conversation. But if you have all these 5-star reviews and then you get a negative review, you just address it. Address it like an adult. Like, approach it. Be honest, empathetic. Don't be aggressive, rude, and mean and get into a fight with somebody, because if you get into a fight with somebody in your reviews, there's no way you win in that situation. So create Google reviews. Number two is create a feedback form so you get feedback on how the transaction went. In addition to the feedback, you may get feedback that some of the services that you either worked with or recommended were not the best, and you just didn't know. That's happened to me before, and I know that's happened to other people. So feedback is super important. The third one, referrals. Referrals. The statistic is something in the area of 75 or 76% of all people say that they would use the last realtor that they worked with again. And then in reality, only like 24% of them actually do. That is because we don't follow up. We don't call and talk to our people enough. We abandon people. We orphan people all the time. Our job is to create referrals. The way you create referrals, if you have to constantly over-communicate and talk to people. I've brought up the online course that we have before. So in our online course, we give you a 40 to 60 touch program for each client that you have, each person you have, whether it's your mom, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your work buddy, the person you just sold a house. It doesn't matter. Everybody goes on this plan, and then you follow up with them. And if you do the follow-up correctly, they are going to refer you business. And it makes you look more professional when you ask for the referral. Don't just expect it. If you do our program correctly, referrals will come in. It'll just happen. I'll tell you a quick story that I was driving in the car with my wife, and she got a phone call, and the lady was like, "Hey, my son is with his new wife and they're going to have a baby and they need to buy a house, and they found this random agent on Zillow and they started seeing houses. And when I found that out, I said, you absolutely cannot use that agent. You have to use my wife. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. That's super impressive, because you have this person that is like, you have to use my friend. And then she hung up the phone after they exchanged information. And what I found is I said, so who is this person? She's like, oh, it's just somebody who lives on my farm. And I said, okay, did you help them buy a house? She's like, no. I'm like, is she a lifelong homeowner there? She's like, no, she bought a house with another agent. I said, okay, so she bought a house with another agent. She's never used you? And she was like, no, she's never used me. But because of the way that she is in our system and that we communicate with her, we have just created her as a client. And now she doesn't have a need to use us, but she refers all of her business to us. That is how the power of referral works. But when you close a transaction with somebody, you give somebody a closing gift. I like Cutco is an amazing closing gift because it lasts forever. There's a lot of perks to it. And one of the things they say with Cutco, which I think is a really great strategy, is that you come by after the closing, a week or 2 weeks after they've kind of like sorted through everything and they're kind of settled a little bit, and then you give them the closing gift. But asking for a referral for that time is really the best strategy. You may not get the referral, but the fact that you ask for it is going to put you at top of mind. And the key is that once you close that deal, you have to follow up with them. Because the part that real estate agents don't understand is that when you close the deal, that's when the relationship starts. And the relationship is your follow-up, your follow-up, your follow-up. And the more you follow up, the more, because if they had an amazing experience and they got a really great deal, they're going to want to tell their friends and their family. Another strategy, and I should actually do a separate podcast on this, is that you can actually throw a housewarming party for them. You can say, listen, I'm going to throw a housewarming party for you. You know what? Send me over your contact list and I'll make sure I email it out to everybody. I'll create the whole event. I'll do everything. I'll pay for the steaks. I'll pay for the food. I'll pay for the alcohol. You put all that together for them, and then you show up and you are bartender. You are the person serving. You are the person that is there with all of their friends for their housewarming party. Something I used to do. But I think it's a really great strategy. So 3 things your business needs. You need reviews, you need feedback, and you need referrals. If you are not doing those 3 things, you're leaving money on the table, and you are potentially putting yourself out of business. Because those 3 things are so important, because it's going to get people to want to use you from your reviews. It's going to help you become better at what you do, and it's going to get you more business through the referrals. So there you go. Those 3 things will help your business beyond a doubt. If you need anything, hit me up in the comments, message me. My number is 818-263-7265. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Remember, go to our podcast. It should be in the comments below. Real Estate Coaching Club. You can search it up. It's everywhere. And subscribe, like our page. And if you guys have anything going on, let me know in the comments. Hope you have a fantastic day. Remember, wherever you go, there you are, because that is where it's at. Love you. See you. Bye.